Hello everyone, my name is Rabia and welcome to episode 6 of Python for Absolute Beginner series. And in this video, we are going to learn how Python makes decisions using conditionals. You will learn how to use if, else if, nested conditionals, the ternary operator, and finally the difference between equal and double equal sign, which confuses many beginners. In real life, we make decisions all the time. For example, if it's raining, take an umbrella, else leave it at home. That's why the conditionals are very useful in Python, as it allow us to do the same thing in our programs. So it let your program choose what to do based on a condition. So let's first look at the if statement. We will look at a very simple example. In a Jupyter notebook, cell write age is equals to 18, and then I'm going to write my condition that if age is greater than or equals to 18, print you are allowed to vote. Since the age is equals to 18 and the condition is true, so you have seen that my result is you are allowed to vote. Now let's add else in our next example. Let's say that I have this age variable which is equals to 16, and if age is greater than or equals to 18, print you are allowed to vote, else print you are not allowed to vote. Since the condition is false because age is equals to 16, so Python is going to skip the first block, which is if, and it goes to the else block. You can see that now I changed the age from 16 to 20, and now Python ran the first block, which is if, and then we get our result, which is you are allowed to vote. So there is one thing that indentation matters in Python. Indented code blocks to the condition, so be very careful while writing the if else statements and keep in mind the indentation as well. Now let's look at the else if, and in Python it's called elif. So we use elif for multiple conditions. Sometimes you need more than two choices. Let's look at this particular example in which the score is equals to 75 and I have different grades depending on different conditions. For example, if the score is greater than or equals to 90, the grade will be A, and if the score is greater than or equals to 80, grade will be B, and so on. Same for the grade C and F. And you can see that we have multiple conditions here, and we have used elif in this particular example. So in this case, you see that we have score equals to 75, and once I ran my block, it printed the grade C because the first and the second condition didn't go through because they were false. Only the third condition was true. That's why Python only printed the grade C, and it skipped the first if and the first elif. Similarly, in this case, I changed the score from 75 to 95, and now Python has printed the grade A because the first condition was true. And similarly, I changed the score to 60, and you can see that Python printed the F. Python skipped all the first three conditions because they were false. So Python checks conditions from top to bottom. As soon as one condition is true, it runs and stops checking. Now let's look at another important concept in conditional, which is nested conditional, which means that you can place an if statement inside another if statement. This is called nested conditional, as I mentioned. So let's look at this simple example. We have age equals to 20, and then we have another variable, which is the Boolean variable, has underscore ID equals to true. So if age is greater than equals to 18, there is a nested conditional underneath it, which means that if has ID, print you are enter, else print you need an ID to enter. So this main conditional, which is like if age is greater than or equals to 18, is depending on our two nested conditions. And then at the end, we have else print you are too young to enter. So here Python checks first the age, then checks has underscore ID only if the first condition is true. So nested conditions are powerful, but try to keep them readable. And in this example, you see that the age is equals to 20, and has ID was true, and Python printed, you can enter. But now I am going to change the variable value to false for has underscore id, and you see that Python printed that you need an id to enter. But if I am going to, let's say, change the age 18, and again has underscore id equals to true, and once you run the cell, the Python is going to too young to enter. Let's look at another important concept in conditional, which is the ternary operator, which means that if else condition in one line. For very simple decision, Python has a shortcut. This is called ternary operator. For example, instead of writing age is equals to 18 and if and else in the separate blocks that we have done earlier in our example, you can actually write all the code in one single line, as you can see in the next example. For example, I have written something like status is equals to adult if age is greater than or equals to 18, else minor, and you will see that it's going to give me the same result as the previous example, which is adult. And in this case, the age is 18. We already set age in our previous example. So in this particular alternative case, Python is going to use that age variable, which is 18. Before we wrap up, let's cover one of the most common beginner's mistake, assignment operator, which is equal sign, and then the comparison operator, which is double equal sign. So let's say that we have x is equals to 5, and this is how the assignment operator is used. We are storing the value in a variable, for example, or you can say that it assigns a value, it doesn't check anything. So once you print it, you get your, you will see that you get the answer, which is 5. Next, look at the comparison operator, which is a double equal sign. Is, for example, x is equals to 5, and we are going to use it in condition if x is equals to 5, because we are comparing equals to 5, as you can see here. Remember that single equal sign assigns a value, double equal sign compares the value. So common beginner mistakes to avoid: forgetting indentation for the conditionals, confusing equal with double equal sign, making condition too complex too early. So focus on clarity, and you will be fine with that. So to wrap up, conditional allow Python to think and decide, which is essential for real programs. If you would like to practice, check out the notebook link below. If you want future videos walking through these examples step by step, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notification. Thanks so much